It's Sara Fadziewicz. I've been doing this fitness, oh my gosh, I got into fitness when I was in my 20s. I started working at a gym and I knew nothing about fitness, so I started working out with as many trainers as I could, just trying to get a grasp on what I was supposed to be doing. My first few workouts with the trainers, I definitely threw up a few times. After working at Bally's for about a year, I got back into banking where I was sitting down all day, and I started gaining weight back, not doing as well as I used to do, so I started getting into running races. I did my first 5 mile, of course I just skip over the 5K, did my first 5 mile about 5 years ago, and I finished and I cried because it was awesome. Didn't walk for a few days after that, but it is what it is. And then my friends decided, oh, let's do the Beast, and I had zero idea of what I was getting into, which, if you don't know anything about the Spartan Beast, that's a hike between 13 to 18 miles up and down Mount Killington in Vermont. It took us 8.5 hours to finish that race. But weirdly enough, that kind of stuff is motivating to do other things. So the next year, I did a sprint again, and the year after that, I did the trifecta, which is the 3. It's the sprint, the super, and the Beast, which again, I will never do another Beast. I'm all set. I think I got my fix with the 2, but down to do other races in regards to that. In 2013, I started prepping for my first show. Okay, so my first show, I had 0 trainers. I did all of my nutrition on my own, which in the end, I mean, I showed up and it was awesome and everything, but really I was depriving my body of a lot of things that I needed. I had no idea that I was doing it. I lacked protein and fats for sure. And then I did the show. I got addicted to show day. Fitness Atlantic is an amazing show. So that same year, I did an INBF show in June and placed 3rd in bikini. While I was happy with how I looked, I was in the wrong category. I probably should have been in a figure category for the muscle that I had put on. In that same year, I did WBFF Rhode Island. After that, I joined Bikini Boss, and I did a 3-month prep with them and won my pro card with the WBFF at Fitness Atlantic 2014. No, 15. Since then, last year was my first pro show in LA, and I did LA and Atlantic City, placing top 10 in both. So that's pretty exciting, and I'm very excited to be doing Worlds in London this summer. I got my first tattoo at 18 years old, literally like my birthday, and then immediately got a tattoo, and it was the sunflower on the back of my neck. I was rebellious. And it was like 10 years later when one of my friends was like, ew, have you seen that tattoo? It looks awful. So I've had it redone since then, but, and then after that it just gets addicting. If you go into a shop, that sound, it just makes you want to get one whether you have no idea what you want to get. My left sleeve actually started with an armband, and if you look around you can kind of figure that out. And then it turned into a half sleeve and then continued to grow. But it's all family related, so each initial is somebody on my family. So Stan, Janine, Dory, Sarah, Wendy, Joe. So it's all family related. At this point, my last tattoo, I mean, obviously they're all meaningful and they're a part of who I am, but when you have as many as I do, then you get into the fun stuff, where I got a cupcake, obviously, because who doesn't love cupcakes?